What's happening, everybody on YouTube? Steve here, Raiken Profit. Welcome back to another live show. We got the boys from the Wholesale Formula in the house. Man, you guys look super comfortable on that couch.
Well, it's a great couch, Steve. Yeah. I don't know what to tell you.
It only looks that way because we are. it's pretty nice.
Cool. Well, really happy to have you guys back. There's been a lot of questions which have been coming in through the YouTube channel, through Facebook, through Instagram, and wanted to, bring this video about to answer everybody's questions regarding wholesale. If you guys have been following the Wholesale Formula, which is their course, it is open right now for the next 3 days. So for anybody who's on the fence, who's thinking about either going through the course or maybe just starting wholesale on their own, or maybe they just want to step up their wholesale game, we're going to be adding a lot of value to you guys today. Plus, we're going to be giving away 5 prizes. I gave away 1 prize last show, and a couple people were like, we want to win a prize. I'm like, all right, well, I'm gonna increase the odds about 500%. So I'm gonna be giving away 5 prizes, and instead of $25 Amazon gift cards, why don't I just give away some cash? So we're gonna be giving away some prizes through the show. And I think the way I'm going to do it is I'm going to choose some of the best questions. So I want you guys to also ask questions. I already have a huge list of questions that people asked. But if you guys ask a really good question, I'm just going to literally pull a winner out of it. I'm going to just be like, yo, you won $25 for that question. So awesome. Ask a ton of questions. But yeah, with that being said, why don't you guys share your story really quick in terms of how you got into wholesale, and just kind of build some context for anybody who's brand new to the channel. And then we'll just dive into some raw, just value-given Q&A, if that's cool.
Yeah, sounds great. So the brief rundown is Dan and I started doing RA, retail arbitrage on the side while we're full-time employed. It looked like it was going to do something for us, so we decided to go all in, as they say. And so starting in January 2012, is Dan and I doing retail arbitrage all across the Southeast and Midwest for us, and did that for 2.5 years, made a lot of money. In fact, we made so much money that we weren't able to spend it on our trips. Our van holds roughly in toys and games about $15,000 cost of goods to fill that thing to the max. And so we were getting to the point where we could fill it up and we still had money in the bank account. So we weren't leveraging that money. And summer was slow for us. So we decided to kind of do what, a wholesale experiment, which is, buy and have the product shipped to us rather than having to go out and get it. We had the time, we had the capital. So we gave it a try, and it started gaining a little bit momentum, a bit more momentum. And by the time that was in July of 2014, by October, Dan was completely convinced. I was convinced it was a future, but we closed out that Q4 doing retail arbitrage while still, keeping the wholesale, adding counts as we could, and then just quitting our jobs and going full in RA, we quit RA basically and went full in with wholesale in January 2015, and it's been 100% wholesale ever since then.
Wow. That's super cool. Dan, you ever think that you'd be, full-time wholesale, back when you first started this business?
No, I mean, when we first started, we actually didn't believe Amazon worked. It was more of a, we'll give this thing a try and see.
Dude, I was on the same page. I was on the same page. I was all eBay, and I'm like, Amazon, that's what?
Right. I mean, we were in the same boat. And then, when we were doing retail arbitrage, here's the thing. It was like, we'd talked about doing other models, and we'd experimented with some other stuff here and there, but nothing really worked out for us, and it just didn't seem like a good fit, to be honest. We didn't make a lot of advances when we initially started with wholesale. So to be honest with you, no, I mean, I wouldn't have expected it based on our first little interactions with it and other models.
Yeah, we just reached a point where this is going to be kind of maybe. It may be one of your questions on your list, and I'm going to preemptively answer it, which is, do you guys sell on any other marketplaces? And the same reason that we never stepped out of retail arbitrage until we needed to, we got to the point where we needed to continue to leverage our capital. We'd run out of opportunities to spend our money. So that's when we started looking for other opportunities. And now when people ask us that, we've not ran out of .com opportunities. We've not gotten to the point where we're tapped or are struggling to find leads for products to sell on .com. So we don't have any need or interest for our business. Not to say that it can't work, because I know plenty of people that do, but we just don't have any need now to do that because we're not fully leveraged yet on .com. So, that's why we've not made that transition there. But I mean, that's what happened with the original transition from RA to wholesale. We just couldn't invest our money, and our goal was always to continue to build capital and grow the business. So there we are.
Yeah, there's a lot of people who are watching right now who follow me, and they're sourcing RA from like Target, Walmart, or they're buying items from thrift stores and garage sales and flipping it. And I was just actually making a video today that's going to be coming out soon, and it was why I think it's such a dangerous business model. And I think Amazon, I don't know, you guys give your opinion, but I really believe that over the next couple of years, it's already started. I think Amazon's really going to push out traditional third-party sellers from selling like typical brands like Nike and like really popular brands. Like there's so many people getting IP claims, inauthentic claims. Brands are like battling against third-party sellers. What are your thoughts on that? Because there's more and more people getting suspended, and more people who, they're like getting an inauthentic claim. Then Amazon's like, we don't care. We don't want to see your receipt. We want, the manufacturer or the supplier invoice.
For sure. I mean, Amazon as a whole has changed. Like he said, we started back in 2011. It's
not the same anymore.
And it's, they have definitely made a large push towards more professional sellers. Like they want you to have those professional invoices. They want you to have professional supply lines. They want you to have, things to show that your products aren't counterfeit, or your products are in new condition and stuff like that. So, with those changes, absolutely, it is definitely. I think retail arbitrage has gotten harder, but I don't think I think it's still plenty profitable. I think there's a lot of opportunity there, but it definitely has gotten harder. I mean, you're talking about brand restrictions didn't exist, 3-4 years ago.
Wasn't even a thing.
Yeah, nobody, that wasn't even something you would consider. Like, we exclusively, that's our retail arbitrage strategy was very much big box all in. Like we were, going into big box stores and buying big name products and list them, and that's what we were doing. And I don't, that's obviously still possible in some capacity, but it's definitely gotten harder. And then you start talking about, the IP claims and the other stuff, and it's like, Amazon has made it very easy for brands to try to protect themselves. Like they want their goal is to work with more professional sellers. That's our opinion. And this model, for what it does lend itself to a lot of safety with that, because we exclusively work with manufacturers. Like, every time we sell a product, we are an authorized seller. We have agreements in place that allow us to sell those products. Amazon. Right. And then we have invoices. Like, that's one of the things for brand restriction. You need a letter of authorization from that brand. We always have that. Like brand restrictions are not a problem for us. Now, when we get, here's the thing is whenever you're selling a lot of product, like I don't care, the more products you sell, the more counterfeit claims you're going to get. It's just, that's part of business.
Right. It's part of the game.
Right. So, we get as many or more than most people you would talk to, but they're never been a problem for us because we have manufacturers' receipts. We have those invoices direct. Not only that, if we ever have any issues, we've always had no problem reaching out to our vendors and being like, hey man, can you get us a letter that shows that we're, an authorized seller and our product's authentic? Not a problem. Because that's the thing is when you develop great relationships with your vendors, they do want to work with you and they want you to be successful on the platform because ultimately you help them be successful.
Yep. No, I think you summed that up perfectly. And, there were a couple comments coming in saying, Steve, why even pushing private label and wholesale so much on YouTube channel? This is the reason why, guys. Like, this is the number one reason why. This is the direction that Amazon is pushing everybody. So, you can either go with the current or you could go against it. But if you stick with the same business model of just thrifting stuff to Amazon, eBay's cool. You can do pretty much whatever you want on eBay. But if you're going to stick with the same business model and you're really going to scale it to 6 figures plus, you're going to be in very, very big trouble doing essentially what you've been doing the last couple of years. So that's the reason why I've really been pushing wholesale and private label so much. So hopefully that answered your question. Let's get into a couple questions that came in through the comments. Let me scroll back. We got Carissa Powell coming in asking, how much money do I need to start wholesale? And where can I get more info to start? So you're in the right place if you want to get information to start right here. And, you know, I've done a couple interviews actually with a student of the wholesale formula recently, and I've interviewed these guys a couple times. So I can link that below afterwards, Carissa. But how much money would you say an average somebody needs to start? And I feel like you're, you know, I talked to your student, Ian, the other day, and he gave an answer and he's like, those guys, they're not going to agree with my answer. And he's like doing like 40,000 a month now. So I'm curious what your answer is, because I hear like so many different answers and like what you actually need to start.
For sure. And here's the thing about anytime you start a business, it's you got to have proper expectations. We believe that you can start this business with about $2,000. But, you know, that doesn't, if you start this business with $2,000, you have to understand that you're going to be building the business. It's not, you know, it's, the more capital you start with, the faster you can take off. But it can be done with $2,000. No, the reason we always say that is it's kind of funny because a lot of the initial orders that we look at are 300, 500, and you'd be like, hey, well, why wouldn't that be the starting number you would suggest? And we don't like somebody to be all in on that one product, right? It's just that's a little more risky than we would suggest for anybody. So what our general strategy is we like to suggest people $2,000 for starting inventory, and that's so you can place a few good orders. Like you could place, you know, multiple orders with different vendors. You could, if that one of those vendors had a price break, like, you know, you'll encounter this a lot with wholesale is that they may have an initial order of like $300, but they may have, you know, 10% off or 15% off at 500 or 700. So I would definitely advise somebody to have that level of capital, the $2,000, so they can take advantage of any kind of price breaks like that and create more margin in their products.
Awesome. Cool. Guess what, guys? I'm giving away the first $25 prize because we just got an awesome comment that came in. So boom, that's right. We got a New England Patriot fan in the house. Jason Boyer saying, and Jason, you just won $25. You got to hit me up after. So definitely listen. I'll give you instructions to get that 25 to your PayPal. But Jason asked, Steve, love your content. Have been a student for years. Thanks for all you do. One question is, what level in wholesale should I go from a sole proprietorship over to an LLC? So what do you guys think about that? Eric, maybe you want to take that one?
Yeah. I mean, the thing is I don't know that, moving to an LLC is going to, first of all, you should consult with a lawyer, because I'm just going to give you the synopsis as the way I understand it. And
you're not a lawyer.
Not even close. I've been in a lawyer's office several times, but I'm not a lawyer. But no, legally, it's going to allow you protection from lawsuits and things of this nature. Sole proprietorship, as the way I understand it, they could come after your personal belongings, whereas with an LLC, right, you're going to be protected. And then beyond that, there's tax benefits. Once you become an LLC, you can become taxed as an S corp, which will you can put yourself on a payroll, and there's going to be some benefits, tax benefits that are being legally an LLC but taxed as an S corp. And both of those things, I would suggest you talk to a lawyer for the LLC and a CPA for the LLC taxes and S corp. So it's there are definitely advantages, and that's the way we're currently set up. So take that for what it's worth, but any further than that, I certainly wouldn't make any changes to your business overnight based on what I just told you, but get you started in the right direction, understand what benefits you can look at when you talk to these professionals.
I mean, the fact that he's asking this question here shows he's a really intelligent guy. So, right. That's basically what I would say is go to an attorney and talk to him about what Eric just said and see what they think.
I'm going to ask a follow-up question that a lot of people are probably thinking. Do you need to have some type of like reseller certificate or like some type of wholesale certificate, or do you have to have an LLC or any legalities that you have to follow in order to secure these contracts with brands and wholesale on Amazon?
Yeah, you actually have to be a TWF student to get any wholesale accounts now. So that's unfortunate, but that's the way we want.
The thumbs downs are coming. No.
Don't sabotage this channel. Jeez.
I'm obviously nosedive this there, but no, honestly, you will need your state equivalent of a resale certificate. So you register with each state's a little different, and the prices vary, but you will need that to secure any wholesale account with any manufacturer or distributor. So that is something that's another thing that if you don't feel like doing, you can talk to a CPA and they can set that up for you for whatever the state fees is, and then plus some amount, whatever they charge for probably an hour worth of labor, because that's probably what it'll take them.
probably really doesn't take them.
We got another.
That's what you'll get billed for. It'll probably take them about 10 to 12 minutes. You'll get billed for the full hour, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, that's going to happen. We got a question from Tico Pico. Love the name. Why the manufacturer / factory brand owner wouldn't skip you and go directly to selling on Amazon through the vendor platform, or even sell via seller FBA?
Well, that's actually an awesome question. Yeah. And here I can explain it two different ways, because there are a couple of separate questions there. And the first one was, why wouldn't they just sell to Amazon? Because selling to Amazon sucks. Like, to be perfectly honest, it is awful. Amazon's very rigid with payment terms. Amazon is they're just not very good with their vendors. I'm sure you could Google and find out some of the horror stories that vendors have had with Amazon. Likewise, their payment terms are typically pretty long. Their brand reps don't really do very much for them, because the Amazon brand rep, I can't imagine how hard of a job that'd be. It's like dealing with literally hundreds of manufacturers all wanting stuff at all the time. So that's another. You just they don't have enough time to actually deal with you. So it is pretty advantageous for them to go through skilled third-party sellers, because if they sell to a seller like us, we know how we can alter the listings. We can do anything they need to drive more traffic. We can optimize with PPC, all kinds of stuff. And if they wanted that with Amazon, they actually get charged for it. Like, Amazon charges them to run PPC. That's, we don't. That's a service that, it's just better to go through us in that regard, or you in that regard. The second question you asked is, why don't they go direct? And the actual truth is, they don't want to be a retailer. Like, look at major brands like Clorox. I don't know if you use Clorox, Steve, but if you do, did you buy it at the Clorox store? The answer is no. You buy it from a retailer, because they're not looking to be a retailer. Their goal is to put out a great product and have it be represented in the best possible fashion. So in that regard, we're actually valuable to the retailers, because
providing
we
a service.
Have skills, and we provide a great service for them.
So I'll add on to that and say that that question assumes that Amazon is a major source of, their bottom line. You don't know that to be the case. I mean, Amazon may just be a throwaway for them in terms of in revenue, but they've got these large contracts for big boxes or mom and pop brick and mortars. You just other channels of distribution. So I could easily see a case where it's not even worth their time for the amount of revenue that's going to. Because you have to have customer service support and things, that go along with being a retailer. So,
look at it from this perspective. Let's say that we have a brand, we have a water bottle over here. I don't know what brand it is, but let's say that water bottle wanted to start selling its product on Amazon today. They would probably need to have an employee to be in charge of that. It'd cost them roughly, even a relatively low level employee would cost them $30,000 to manage that channel for them. Beyond that, let's say that employee doesn't execute very well and they get bad feedback and stuff like that. All they've done is destroy their brand for relatively very little sales versus what they get potentially in other channels. So not only is it, does it cost them money, it actually can hurt them if they don't perform well in that space. So, in most cases, honestly, I think it makes a lot more sense for brands to go with third-party sellers, because they're renting your labor. So it just makes sense whenever you're buying the products from them.
Yeah. And that's one thing I love about your course. And it's different than what a lot of people think. A lot of people think that your course is all about how to, find wholesale distributors, but it's really, the essence of your course. And what I really, I don't want to give away too much of it, but the main thing is, building that relationship and giving value up front to these brands, right? Small to mid cap brands out there. And if you had to guess, how many small to mid cap brands do you think have products in the United States? How many? Millions?
Hundreds of thousands, millions. I mean, a very, very large number.
And this is why it's such a huge opportunity, not only wholesale in general, but what you guys teach in your course, because there's literally, like you mentioned, millions and millions of brands out there, but they don't know how to really control the Amazon sales channel. What are some things that you teach in your course to your students that would help you to build a relationship with a brand and add value to them, which would then allow you to get that permission to be able to sell their product wholesale on Amazon?
For sure. That's actually the entire focus of our course. And I think it's a little bit deeper than just Amazon. Like what we teach, it really does kind of It works in any market. I don't care if you're, you know, a marketer. I don't care if you're what business you're in. This actually works because people want value on the front end, and that's what we deliver. We try to teach people how to develop an awesome relationship with those manufacturers through value. Like it could be with listings. It could be with just, you know, what we're looking for whenever we approach a manufacturer, whenever we start that conversation with a manufacturer, is we actually look at what can help them. It's really simple. It's, you know, what is the deficiency that we can help, and how can we help them accomplish their goals in the channel? Maybe their goals are to raise sales in their channel. Maybe their goals are to be more prominent in the channel. Maybe their goals are to be show up better in search versus their competition in that channel. My goal is as a retailer, it's my job to find out what that goal is and help them achieve it. So, you know, a lot of what our course teaches, it teaches honestly the diagnostic side, like how to spot deficiencies. How can you leverage how a brand shows up? How can you leverage a listing to make it sell more, stuff like that. And then it shows how to have that awesome conversation with a manufacturer, because that's really the hardest part, right? It's really the hardest part to, you know, it's, you know, it's one thing being able to like express yourself and talk and stuff like that, but it's kind of nerve-wracking doing it with a business and a stranger and all these other factors. And that's what we teach. And it's the reason we focused on that end is because we didn't want to do that forever in our business. We had to come up with an awesome system to train employees to be able to have these awesome conversations, because our goal is not to be working inside of our business forever. Our goal is to be working on our business. So from that perspective, you know, we teach diagnostics, we teach developing awesome relationships, and then we teach fulfillment of value. And, you know, it's, you know, I realize that's a really broad stroke answer, but it's, you know, that's what it is, because, you know, teaching somebody how to go find a product on Amazon or teaching somebody how to go find a distributor, I could do, you know, I'm not going to charge money for that. That's incredibly easy stuff. What we're focused on is trying to teach people on how to cultivate successful business relationships and leverage that to develop a real business.
Cool. Awesome. Yeah. So if you guys are interested in the wholesale formula, you can check the first link down below in the description. Plus, I'm giving away some awesome bonuses, which we'll talk about later on. But you guys know what time it is. It's time to give away another $25, man.
Boom.
It's 7:25, and I'm like, man, I gotta start giving away some money right now. So we have a winner, and this was actually her second question in a row, and this was a great one. So I'm gonna give it to Carissa Powell. You are the $25 winner. I just wrote your name down. For any of the winners, send me an email, raikenprofit@gmail. Take a screenshot of your YouTube, and I'll send you a PayPal over. But Carissa, congratulations. Your question is, do you need inside assistance to be selling wholesale? Seriously thinking about getting into wholesale. So insider assistance, I'm thinking that means maybe do you need like maybe a virtual assistant, or do you need like physical employees in a warehouse? What do you guys think about that?
Yeah, it's actually funny. Whenever we started the wholesale side of our business, most people are, you know, that's one of always big concerns. Like, what all kind of softwares and gizmos and gadgets and all that goofy stuff do I have to buy? When we started ours, we actually didn't use any softwares until we were doing about 100,000 a month in sales. So, you know, as far as needing assistance, no, you don't. You definitely don't have to. I don't know if I would recommend that strategy again. Like, we probably should have definitely used some softwares and stuff, and it would have probably helped us go a little faster. But I like to say that as an example of, you don't have to have that. Like, what you have to have is you have to be able to grow a business like that. You have to be able to find good product opportunities, and you know that's something we teach. You have to be able to analyze those products correctly, and then have a great develop a great relationship with those manufacturers. And that's all we focused on initially. And it's, you know, that's really nuts and bolts, but it worked to the point that we were generating a substantial amount of income. And I think that a lot of people might get carried away too much with the gizmos and gadgets sometimes.
Cool. Awesome. So yeah, guys, if you're listening, guys and gals, be sure to throw some questions down below. I'm fishing all your questions. Plus, if you had a really good one, you might win some money. Let me go over to my list of handy dandy questions, and let's talk about going directly to a distribution center versus going to a brand. I know I had hinted at this a couple minutes ago, but could you talk about the difference between somebody going to a traditional wholesale website and, you know, putting together a deal and sitting in Amazon versus going directly to a brand and then putting together a deal? What's the difference? Why do you do what you do? So on and so forth.
For sure. Whenever with distribution, here's the thing: is distributors represent, say, it could be 5 brands, it could be 500. It just depends on the size of the distributor and things like that. But whenever I go to a distributor, they're not necessarily brand loyal, right? They're just, we want to sell lots of products, and they'll push those brands' products. But at the end of the day, it's not, they're focused on more than just one brand. So if I go to them and Steve, you go to them, and we're both trying to make an order, the only thing that makes me or you any more valuable than the other is how much money we're willing to spend. And as a small business, you can't play that game effectively. That's what we've learned, is it's very hard to play that game effectively because you just don't have the budget for it. Even now, like, we don't have the budget to compete with some of these, $100 million sellers on Amazon. And I don't want to. That's not my goal. I'm not trying to compete with those guys. Instead, we focused on going to the brand. Now, you can't place an order for 42 different brands of products if you're working individually at the brand. So there is that downside. But the upside is that brand really cares about how its products perform. It really cares about, how its products are featured on the website. It cares about how Steve's representing their product. So that's the upside is, instead of creating a relationship based on how much money I can spend, we're able to create relationships based on the value we can deliver. And that pays off so much more over time, because they don't, these brands, the brands that we work with, they don't have to work with 400 sellers. They're not trying to. They want to just work with a few sellers who are taking care of the needs they have. So, from that perspective, distribution can be more efficient, but we feel like it's a lot more challenging, particularly because it relates to money. And we feel like the brand direct helps build better business relationships.
Awesome. Thank you. We have a follow-up question from Jeff Green. And Jeff is asking, good to see you, Jeff, what is the best way to get in contact with authorized brand distributors or suppliers?
Well, for us, we start at the top. So we hope that we don't actually have to be passed down to a distributor, but when we go straight to the source. So, if you watch that workshop that we have up now until Friday, you'll see how we source products and scout products. And so when we find a product that we're interested in, we look, we basically just Google that, the brand name, and it's right there in the Amazon listing.
Did you just give out our magic? Did you just tell them that Google exists?
I've let the cat out of the bag, but no. And then we look it up and find them on the internet, and then that's that's our first point of contact at the top. Now there are some manufacturers that, like Dan says, they're not interested in being retailers. It's not completely uncommon that they don't want to be a distributor either, because that's the thing that distribution of products still requires manpower, man hours. And the higher up they go, the less they have to ship. For us, if they're shipping to other individual retailers, it's going to be a lot of smaller shipments versus a large shipment to a distributor. So even some manufacturers don't even want to distribute their products, but we start at the top and we try to get it direct from them. And then there are some that'll say, hey, this is the authorized distributor we use. But yeah, we go and try to get authorized at the top, because that's where you're going to have that relationship and that value level that's you're going to be able to bring more to the table than just a line of credit, which is the only differentiation, like Dan mentioned, with distributors. And
I'll give you a pro tip. If you are let's say you work with a manufacturer who says, we don't distribute our product, go through our authorized distributor, still work with that manufacturer. Don't, place your orders through the distributor, but go work with that manufacturer and talk to them about their goals and how you can help them over time. It will definitely pay dividends.
Oh, interesting. We got a question from Flipping Everything. Wow. Flipping Everything.
Flips it all.
Yeah.
Yeah, ain't letting anything go by. So Flipping Everything is asking, would you say buying liquidation for FBA is still good to get into because of all the restrictions?
We actually don't do it.
It's been ages since we've done it.
We did it once, and it wasn't
awful for us.
It wasn't real good for us. It didn't work out quite so well. We made money, but it was a lot of work to make very little money for us. And other people's experiences are different. I personally wouldn't want to right now because of the restrictions and counterfeit claims and stuff like that, because you don't have good invoicing whenever it comes to that kind of stuff. So I probably wouldn't do it personally, because we're a little more risk averse in that regard.
So you said you don't really have very good invoicing. Is there a difference between invoices, between like liquidation and like wholesale
Well, for sure. I mean, with our invoices, like, if I'm selling whatever brand of product I'm selling, that's going to be on the invoice. That name it's coming from that. So, it's much easier for Amazon to respect that invoice and give it credence. Whereas, like, if I have a liquidation invoice, a lot of the liquidation invoices don't even have, they don't even have the products on them. It's just, you may be buying a lot of beauty products or something like that. And even if they do have the liquidation, it's still, you have to be able to go beyond that, because you need to know where that product originated. And it requires a lot more work if you have to do a chain of custody investigation for Amazon. It requires a lot more work, and you'll have to climb that ladder and try to get some invoices really quick. It's
awesome. That's definitely good information right there. So we are at about the halfway mark right now. We got a lot of questions coming in, so I want to let everybody know I'm taking note of all your questions, and I'm doing the best I can to listen to these guys talk, to have some good follow-up questions, and also take your guys' questions. So I'm not leaving you guys in the comments. I'm watching everything. If you guys are enjoying this so far, do us a big favor and hit that like button, or smash that like button. Smash it for the Patriots, right, Eric?
That's right. We get some thumbs up
I'm
out
from
there.
Connecticut. You know what I mean? So
I mean, it's time to get hype. We're right around the corner for the big game, baby.
I knew you would like that. So yeah, hit the like button, guys. And plus, if you hit the like button and you leave a comment, I've got 3 more prizes that I'm going to be giving away. So if you just came in, we're giving away 3 more $25 direct to your PayPal payouts for anyone who asks a really good wholesale question, which I'll be asking live on air and shouting you out. So let's transition over. Thanks everybody for tuning in and for all the likes and all the love. We definitely appreciate you guys. So I think I'm going to give away another $25 right now, because we had a question, a really good question that came in. Where are you? Here it is. All right, let me write you down. Shane Barber, you are winning 25 buckaroos right now with the question of, is it smarter to niche wholesale similar to eBay to really learn the market, or just look for the biggest fish possible? So in other words, when you're reaching out to wholesale brands, are you sticking to just like brands that are creating like baby products? Or are you sticking to brands that are only creating like sporting goods products? What are your thoughts on niching down with wholesale?
I mean, I think when applicable, it's a great idea. I mean, it just helps eliminate variables and set you up for success better, because particularly if it's a niche that you know something about or are interested in, so that you are able to have that dialogue with the manufacturer that's natural, not forced, and you guys have a common ground, so that'll help eliminate some of the nervousness, or just gaining that experience of talking to a manufacturer. So like I would advise it if possible. It's certainly not necessary, and you won't find yourself staying there very long, because you'll start getting experience, excited, and understand how the system and the process works, and you'll start branching out. And at this point for us, we sell in every category we're approved in, and do well in every single category. So there's not any restrictions in terms of where you can go, but where you start, if possible, if there's a common ground or something that you understand or you've got experience with, I feel like that's a leg up, certainly.
Awesome. Thank you for the information. We got Rusted Raccoon in the house. Wow, how did that name come about? I don't know, but I love it. I'll tell you right now, I'm going to change my name to Rusted Raccoon Profits, because Raiken Profits is just not.
Yeah, that's old. That's played out.
That's old news.
Yeah, right. Swamp Picker is asking a question. What's going on, Swamp? Is a partnership good for everyone? How long have you guys been together in business? That's a great question.
I mean, ever since we started, and so 2000.
I would say it's good for everybody, though. I mean, it's some people might not like to have a partner, but I mean,
it'll be just season to taste, so to speak. So I mean, but at the end of the day, it has to be somebody that you really respect and are certain, have a lot of confidence in. I would say that, like, it doesn't, don't just kick off a partnership with somebody you think is smart or cool or whatever without, because there are going to be some ups and downs, and there are going to be situations where, you've got to trust each other, and it's tough to do without that. So like that's just dependent on you. I mean, we've done well with one, but I know plenty of people that, the old saying, what kind of ship doesn't sail? A partnership. I mean, so it's like, it really just depends, so, and we have a long history together too. Like, I mean, I've known him for, going on 20 years. So like, that's, I don't know how much of that dynamic exists out,
I mean, you said it perfect. Like, it really does. I mean, a good partnership takes respect, and it takes respect and trust. But I think more than anything, like at the end of the day, like you've got to trust that your partner is making great decisions or making decisions with their best interest or with the business's best interest in mind. And you got to respect those decisions sometimes, even if you don't agree with them. It's not always perfect, but that's the thing is I feel like if you have a great partner who challenges you, it definitely adds a different dynamic to your business. Like,
growth in a lot of areas you wouldn't expect.
For sure.
You can't go on your own. So,
like, Eric definitely sees stuff a little differently than I do.
Quite differently. And vice versa.
Right. So it can add a lot, but for sure, he was right. Don't jump into one just to have one. Make sure it's somebody that, you can respect and
because it's a lot like marriage. It's easy to get into and it's tough to get out of. I mean, I'm just saying, like,
sure.
The more and the better, the bigger the business is, and the more equity you start building, the more difficult it becomes. So make sure that your foundation is solid for certain.
Sherry White said, "I thought you guys were brothers."
Well, I mean, I'm the handsome one.
Right. I mean, he got the looks, and I got the brains, as it turned
out. We got a question coming in from Eric Olson. Good to see you, Eric. Thanks for joining into the broadcast. How often do you go to Chinese trade shows? I want to go, but I'm scared.
No.
I've never been to one.
No, we haven't either. That's more of a private label thing. I mean, all of our stuff is the wholesale stuff that we source is 99% domestic. So our products are ordered and shipped from within the United States. I mean, we get them usually within the week when we place an order, and they're ready for sale within 10 days, usually of placing the order on Amazon. So like, we don't do that. I know people that do, and it's more of a private label thing. So,
but even the wholesale trade shows like ASD and stuff like that, I mean, they've not really been a big part of our business. I mean, it's and that's not to say it's a bad show or anything like that. It's just not. It didn't fit our personality and what we were doing, which is, I think, is awesome, because it means, think about it. That means like it shows that you can be successful going to trade shows doing wholesale. It shows you don't have to at all if it's not in your personality. So I think it's it shows how adaptable it is as a business model.
Cool. Regarding the wholesale formula, the course that you guys are offering for anyone who's coming in, they offered a free course, and now they have the big granddaddy that'll teach you everything. A couple people were asking in a previous broadcast, I'm going to bring this up again. Why go with the wholesale formula versus, any other wholesale program, or maybe try to learn on your own? What are your guys' thoughts on that in a nutshell?
For sure. Well, it's actually, I guess it's a kind of a bad question for us, because we're like the worst salesman ever, and we don't try to sell our thing. It's, what is the wholesale formula? It's just, it literally is it's a blueprint of our business. I mean, it's what's worked for us. And it's no more, no less. Like, we don't offer a lot of theory. We don't offer any theory in there. It's literally based on what has worked for us.
I mean, to Dan's point, in terms of like, you won't see anything about trade shows in there. You won't see anything about private label. And it's not like we've never done those things. It's just, we're not the most well-equipped to give advice on that. So we don't offer advice that we're not confident on. What's in the wholesale formula, like you said, is the core of our business that has been replicated and proven to work time and again. And this is, and then what's great about that is we're also doing other things all the time, experimenting. And when we find something that works, or we get a foothold with this type of strategy is really working with us now, then it'll make it in the next course update. So if you ever purchase the wholesale formula, you get any updates that we do. And I think this time we updated, how many videos did we update for this launch? Like, just dozens of videos that got brushed up and updated, because we try to give the best advice out there. And then at the end of the day, it's just like this. There's a 30-day no money back guarantee. Wait, hold on just 1 second.
Whoa!
They said they weren't salesmen.
He's trying to take your no. We have a 30-day money back guarantee. No hassles, no BS. It's just we realize that it doesn't always fit for everybody, right. And it doesn't hurt our feelings if somebody wants a refund.
Yeah. I mean, it's as simple as sending an email and it's done, and it's like, it's there, the opportunity's there, and I mean, I feel like I don't between what you've seen from us in webinars and things of this nature when you're in the course and the webinars that come along with it, and that you'll know if you're in the right place. And if you are, we're very excited to have you.
And if you're not,
of it, then
we're happy to give you a refund and hope the best.
Hopefully that you're able to take that money and take it to the moon.
NY Group is asking, is the formula still working for you guys in your actual business? Isn't it saturated? Which is a good question.
Sure.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's the thing is everything we do is based around our business. And it's, it works. It's the same concept. We build value for brands and they want to work with us because of that. And it works for students because it's just, there's no secret to it. It's just awesome, fundamental business principles. That's all we do. It's not, there's no hocus pocus. There's no magic or trickery. It is literally, we teach people how generally good business strategy, and that's why it works. And that's why it'll always continue to work.
Awesome. Cool. Let's see. I'm just looking through some questions. Another question from NY Group asking, is there a best category to start with when getting into wholesale?
Yeah, I mean, this kind of goes back to what I was saying about if there's this category or niche that you're familiar with, I feel like you'll have more success starting there, but they all perform, equally as well for us. So no in general, but it's going back to, I would kick it off in something, if that exists.
Awesome. Shane Barber is asking, could you wholesale on Shopify and make money driving traffic through maybe Facebook ads or any other paid advertising?
I mean, you can do it with, you don't even have to, you sell straight on Facebook these days or Instagram or even, I mean, you can, but you're not going to get any tips, tricks, or insights on us about that. That's a great, I'm just saying, like, it's a great strategy. It's a great something to try, supplement your business with. I mean, like any business, be it wholesale or anything, I wouldn't advise anybody to just completely switch it up and jump straight in. And this is what I'm doing now. Like anything, I would expect you to gain experience and grow and continue to move for whatever makes you the most money. So yes, you could, and I know plenty of people that do that kind of thing, but it's not anything that we do. Right.
That's what he was alluding to is, again, it's, that's what the wholesale formula is. It is exactly what we do. And that's why he said, you're not going to get any advice from us, is because we don't do that. Yeah. It's not something we actually do in our business. So, but yes, it definitely could work. We know people it does work for.
What's the average or minimum return on investment you're looking for? Is there a specific profit margin you're looking for when you guys are going through, or now you have, I know you have people that help you out in the business, but what's their criteria for looking at a product in terms of that ROI or profit percentage?
We look for 30% ROI initially. Now we do, and this is something I would tell anybody about any business, is don't make rules that cost yourself money. Like, be flexible with your rules. Like that for us, that's a guideline. Again, 30% is a guideline for us. Like if we're looking at a $150 item and it makes 22%, I'm definitely buying that item. And I would encourage anybody else to buy that item too, because it makes financial sense. But as a general rule of thumb, it's 30% plus ROI for us is what we're looking for.
Awesome. Another question coming in: how many brands do you have an exclusive with, or do you need to have, an exclusive deal with a brand? Is that necessary? Is that how it typically works with your guys' business model?
No, we don't. We actually don't get exclusives on the front end. I mean, and I think trying to get exclusives on the front end is a really, really bad idea, and you'll look kind of silly. Instead, we build all of our exclusives over time. Like we work with those brands, we develop great relationships with those brands, we facilitate value with them, we communicate, whatever we're seeing on Amazon and try to help them the best we can. And over time, it always, it will forge a great relationship that turns into an exclusive. At this point, we probably in the neighborhood of 10 or 12 exclusives, but that's again, we started with 0. It's, we didn't, and that's, you build that kind of stuff over time, so you don't have to have it, but you will get it if you're doing a great job.
Do you find that other people just like yourself who are running your business model are forming deals with the same brands that you're working with? So, for example, maybe you're selling a product and you have a great ROI, and then another person will jump on it and undercut you. Are you dealing with the same stuff that thrifters and RA folks are having to deal with?
Not typically. It's, a lot of the brands that we work with, and then, it may start out like that, and it may be a little rocky on the front end but we try to help them understand how Amazon works, and that you kind of want to know who your sellers are. So we do a lot of education in the first little phase, but for established products for us, you don't see that very often because they really do care who they sell to, and it's starting. I think across the board, like that's starting to be a bigger trend as well. It's like we're having to do a lot less education these days. People are generally starting to become pretty savvy about who they're selling to and who they want to work with. So I feel like that positions us pretty good as well.
Awesome. We got a lot of great questions coming in. So folks, keep asking questions. I'm watching the comments. I'm bringing them all in. I'm doing my best to answer all your questions. But yeah, guys, thanks for watching so far, and hopefully you're finding value. Another great question coming in. Do you run the price lists in a program to find profitable products, or do you guys manually go through each SKU to calculate the profit when looking for wholesale deals?
We run through Price Checker 2. Price Checker 2 is a great software. And then we'll get a readout. And we may, that even though that price list may have told us, our profit margins or whatever, like we'll still work on it from there. We're going to talk to them about some discounts and some other stuff to kind of help us see the profit margins that we like to see.
And just for clarity, in case that I want to make sure that they're not talking about just going through random price lists that you get at trade shows or something like this. The only time we're going through price lists is when we reverse source a product that we know we're very interested in. So that price sheet contains at least one product that we're interested in. Now that we're going to run it for the rest of their products, so that there's not wasting our time like we did for weeks and months and, in years past, running just through random price sheets from trade shows or manufacturers just hoping to, distributors just hoping to find profitable products. At least in this case, there's one guaranteed product we're interested in. So, and then that's when we start running lists.
Cool. Got another question. Actually, we got a comment from Lion's Den Reseller stating, I watched the 5-day wholesale workshop from you guys, and it was very inspiring. So it looks like Lion Den enjoyed that content. Yeah, you guys can definitely check that out as well. If you go to the link in the description below, it goes to day 5 of the workshop, but I believe on that page you can go through and watch like the free 5-day workshop. So it's the first link down below in the description. So definitely check that out, guys. Shane is asking or stating, I am a small time eBay seller, 2 months. Should I start reselling on Amazon, maybe learn a little bit of FBA before going into wholesale, or can you pick up whenever?
No, I feel like you can pick up whenever. To be honest with you, it's funny. I feel like a lot of our best students are the ones who just kind of
without preconceived notions,
right? They're not coming at it with preconceived notions, and and a lot of times they may never have sold anything before.
Sometimes people can learn too much on their own. They already know enough, or I already know this. So you develop bad habits sometimes when you come in with all this knowledge you think you've garnered over time, and so yeah, I'm with Dan. I think that you can definitely kick it off, and then you're like a clean slate. So you get develop all the best practices straight from the 2 best people to learn from.
Awesome. Got another $25 giveaway that we are giving away right now. The 4th giveaway to Sue Cheek. Sue Cheek winning $25, writing your name down. Again, for all the winners, Shane Barber, Jason Boyer, Carissa Powell, and Sue Cheek. We got one more coming up. Boom. Send me an email, raikenprofit@gmail.com with a screenshot inside your YouTube so I know it's you, and I will send you over a PayPal. But Sue's question is, what if you find a local company that you feel you could help by offering their products on Amazon, but their products do not have UPC codes?
I mean, you can definitely get that. You can get UPC. What is it called? Exemptions. Exactly. You can get UPC exemptions for those products and get them on Amazon. So that would be really cool. And we don't, for what it's worth, like we don't have a lot of experience working with local companies because we live in the middle of nowhere in Kentucky, and there really aren't any. So, congratulations for having a cool opportunity in a local place, but you definitely can help them. You just take a little bit of work on the UPC exemption side.
Cool. Awesome. NY Group asking a lot of questions. What do you do if the brand points you to a distributor or wholesaler? Aren't they pointing everyone else to the same distributor, wholesaler, which obviously created prices to the race to the bottom?
Well, that's one of the things. Again, that's why whenever we get suggested to a distributor, it's great to maintain that relationship with the brand owner, regardless of where you're ordering the product. And they can definitely put things in place to block people from buying the products through distribution as well. And we've had that happen before.
Cool. Awesome. So it looks like we're getting through a lot of the questions. Let's see. Are there any more questions coming through? If you guys have any more questions, ask away. I'm going to pick one more winner in the next couple of minutes with a really good question.
Well, this should be the winner. I'm going to ask you a question. What are your bonuses? Are you going to wait to the end? Or are you gonna go,
do I get to win $25 if I share them?
Yeah, I mean, I'll ship you $25. I want to see what these things are.
Yeah, cool. I'll share my bonuses right now, and then once I'm done, I'm going to come in and we'll answer like one or two more questions and find a winner. But to catch everyone up to speed, these guys have a course. It's called the Wholesale Formula, which essentially teaches you everything you need to know to pretty much start, scale, and grow a wholesale business based on their formula, right? And their course, like I mentioned, it's different than most people think. It's not just a course or a program. It's actually like a formula, specific things that you have to do. And that's why they mentioned, they're not talking about trade shows. They're not talking about building relationships locally. They've got their formula. And essentially they went from 600 to 11 million in how many years?
I mean, we've been selling Amazon now for just over 5.
Right.
So, so their program is pretty much their formula of how they did that. So I wanted to sweeten the deal for the folks who are following me. I am an affiliate for the Wholesale Formula. And if you guys go into the description, there's a link to join. And also underneath that, I've got a bunch of bonuses that I'm giving away, but only for the next 3 days because the program is closing. What day is it? Today is Monday.
Friday, I think.
Okay.
It's the 1st, whatever the 1st is.
Okay, so it's closing February 1st. So I don't even think today's Monday, right?
Yes.
When you work for yourself, it's so funny. You just like lose track of what day it is. But anyways, guys, if you do get the program and the course and you're like, listen, I want to jump into wholesale, I've sweetened the deal by giving away 1 free year to the Green Room, which is a membership site that teaches you all about thrifting, retail arbitrage, eBay, Amazon. Great community aspect over there. We've got tons of books and guidance. So while you are building up your wholesale business, you can earn money on the side while you're building up your business, because it's going to take some time for wholesale to start making you money. Giving away 6 months email coaching with myself. So again, while you are building your wholesale business, I highly recommend that you're, building up other income streams as well, whether it's on eBay or Amazon, doing books, just to have revenue coming in, right? You definitely don't want to be scrapping. So you can essentially ask me anything you want for 6 months straight through my email. This is a cool thing right here. I'm giving away a $100 Amazon gift card. So if you do get the program through my link, I'm going to give you a $100 gift card to go out and buy some supplies, buy some various things that you could use for your business that you otherwise wouldn't want to have to spend money on. I'm giving away all my clothing books, my clothing programs that teach you how to sell clothing on eBay, my shoe programs that teach you how to sell shoes on eBay, Garage Sale Killer ebook, and another one of my clothing books that teach you how to sell blazers, sport coats, and suits. So essentially I put this bonus package together to kind of sweeten up the deal and give you guys a little kick in the butt to move in the right direction. But also I wanted to help you guys out to give you the best chance possible to succeed. I actually talked to a woman on the phone today who was looking to start the Wholesale Formula, and she only had, I think, a couple $1,000s. And I said, listen, if you're going to get into the program, you've got to not only make sure that it's right for you and your business and your finances and that you can pay your bills, because the last thing I want anybody doing is getting into it with like their last couple $1,000 and then you have no money, because you've got to have some wiggle room. And also I would recommend anytime you start a new business, you don't want to it's kind of like people who say, I hate my job, and then they quit their job before getting a new job. Don't do that. Like you want to, you know what I mean? Like you want to have income coming in, like you want to be in a good position. So for example, if you're going to get into wholesale, don't quit flipping books on Amazon. Don't quit your clothing business or flipping shoes or doing what you're doing, thrifting, garage sales to eBay, Amazon, just because you're going wholesale. Do not do that. Keep doing what you're doing, but slowly start to kind of move your time into the direction you want to go into, right? So if you want to get into wholesale, slowly maybe put 10, 20% in, and then 30%, 40%, 50%. So those bonuses, my goal for it at least was to help you to continue generating revenue and learning how to build other income streams while building your wholesale business. So with that being said, I wonder if any good questions came in, because we have one more
$25 question to give out.
I feel like you guys should help me choose the winner, but you guys aren't looking at the comments, are you?
We can't see the comments.
No.
Darn it, you guys can't do 10 things at once. All right. All right, I'm going to go in and refresh the comments and see if we have a good question that came in. Bear with me. Here we go. You know what? I'm picking it. I am picking it right now. I'm giving it to Rusted Raccoon, and I'm giving it for a couple reasons. Well, okay. Number one, I'm gonna admit I'm a little biased. If you guys have a cool name like Rusted Raccoon, you're definitely gonna be, in the right position. But Rusted Raccoon asks, is this program, the wholesale formula, good for someone who is just starting? So I'm gonna go in there and add another comment. Maybe they've never sold on eBay. Maybe they've never sold on Amazon. I don't know Rusted Raccoon personally. I just know his name is awesome. Is the wholesale formula right for someone who has no idea about reselling whatsoever, and why?
Here's the thing about our course is it is a direct replica of our business. Our goal in our business has been to fire ourselves from every position. So we had to come up with strategies and ways to be able to do that. So we've trained employees to be able to do it. And we had to make our processes simple enough to be able to do it. So our course is a complete collection. It is an entire business in a box, effectively. So in that regard, it is an excellent product for somebody new, because they get to learn from the beginning every single process that we do in our business. And
and an anecdote for that is, I think this may be the 5th time or something we've launched or whatever. And so if you'd asked me that the first time or two, I would have said yes, because that's how we did it. So like we went from RA to this. So I felt like having that experience, but now that we've had successful students that have started from scratch, like Dan said, some of our best students, because they come in without just ready to learn. They're complete open canvas. They avoid more pitfalls. They're following directions rather than making their own lead, as we often do sometimes when we feel like we've got a leg up or know a little bit more. It's funny, like, you'd asked me 2 years ago, I would have said yes, you need to have some selling experience. But now I think it actually just clouds your judgment a bit, because you do have to think there's such a different beast between other business models and wholesale. So you kind of have to retrain yourself. People starting out don't have to do that.
There's no retraining. Right. I mean, it's literally, I know this from the start.
Exactly.
This is all I know.
Right.
But yeah, and that's the thing about our course is we've purposely built it with all of those resources. Like everything is in there. I mean, it's templates, it's templates, diagrams, everything that we utilize in our business is in that course. And that's why I feel like it's a great, it is a great resource, because it is so complete. It has literally everything you need to do to get started, and to beyond that, it's not just get started, to really scale and grow. I mean, it's funny because you always get the questions like, is it a newbie course, or is it for, experienced sellers? Yeah. And our course appeal. It's like, we can't answer that question fairly, because it literally has everything. It has every single process that we do in our business, everything that you need to get started. So it's like, does it appeal to newbies? Absolutely, because it's complete. Does it appeal to experienced sellers? Absolutely, because, as you've seen, we've scaled our business quite a bit, and a lot of our students have as well. And it's using that same exact strategy. It's just an extrapolation of what, a growth of what we're doing already and teaching in that course. So, I'm biased, but I really do feel like our course does provide the absolute, the absolute best chance for people to have success in that with wholesale.
Being biased doesn't make you wrong.
I mean, I agree. I don't think I'm wrong. I said biased. I didn't say wrong.
I know. I was just making sure that that distinction was there.
We got a great question from Mitch Paul. Mitch Paul, you want to know what? I am giving you $10 since you're number 6. So Mitch Paul, man, you're getting a quick little $10 bill into your PayPal. So be sure to hit me up. Mitch is asking, what are your advices for someone just starting off, only able to purchase a few hundred pieces wholesale?
I mean, first off, I wouldn't just suggest purchasing a few hundred pieces wholesale. I would, we don't purchase arbitrary amounts of product. We really try to dial in to see how much we believe we can sell within a month. So my first bit of advice would be to focus on the cash flow side of your business. Focus on making sure that your business doesn't have excess inventory and is buying and selling the right types of products.
Awesome. Cool. Eric Olson, man, Eric, you've been asking a lot of great questions too. Does 5-day course work around my schedule, or do I have to sign on each day at a certain time?
With the 5-day workshop?
The 5-day workshop, all 5 videos are up now. So the link that you shared is to day 5, but there's navigation across the top where it says day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, day 5. So now you can binge watch it all if you'd like, but that's only available until February 1st. So
you almost said a day, and then it's nobody actually knows. I don't think anybody on this call, this
nobody does
idea when February 1st.
I know this January has been so long that I don't know if we're ever getting out of it. But yeah, so it's available February 1st, and you can watch them all if you'd like, but you only have until February 1st to do that. So I'd advise sooner rather than later.
Sherry White, you're winning $10 too. Is age a differentiator in starting this business? Husband and I are getting ready to retire.
No, not at all. We've had successful students at all ages, and I mean, honestly, I don't think it matters one bit how old you are.
No.
Cool. So I think that's it. There's a lot of great questions, and I'm giving away 7 prizes. So Sherry White, $10. Mitch Paul, $10. Shane Barber, 25. Jason Boyer, 25. Carissa Powell, 25. Sue Cheek, 25. And Rusted Raccoon, man, coming in with that freaking $25.
It's you know what? It's easy to see why they love Raiken. Yeah. And it's you get $25 and you get 25 and you get 10.
I've never done this before. It's just so much fun. I just want to keep giving it away.
The Raiken raccoon, he kind of looks like a raccoon. I mean, this is we've got him changed it. We got a new nickname for him.
Oh gosh. So man, this was a lot of fun, guys. If you guys are interested in the free 5-day workshop, or you want to purchase their actual main course, first link down below. I'm giving away all those bonuses as well, those 8 bonuses, worth almost $2,000 alone just in bonuses. So you guys can check that out in the description. The course is open for 3 more days. We're all horrible salesmen, so we have no idea when it actually closes. We just know it's February 1st. So if you guys want it, go ahead and grab that and check it out. And Rusted Raccoon says, you get a car, you get a car, you get a car. Oh gosh. All right, guys, I want to respect your time. Thank you so much, guys, for coming on. You guys are amazing. And yeah, for all the students who get in, good luck. I know the course closes 3 days, and it's closed for usually 6 months or so. And that's because you guys are focusing on actually taking care of the students. This isn't some program where, and I've taken it before, you join a course and it's just like you get abandoned. You know what I mean? This is completely different.
Here's the thing with our course. A lot of people actually ask, why we do close it up. And so whenever we close it up, what we do is people are able to go through that first week's of material, and we have a webinar that goes over that first week's of material, and we dive deep into it. We answer any questions that people have, because what we're trying to do is we're trying to get people to implement as we go along. Like, we want you implementing as you're moving through that course, and we need our questions, and we want our webinars to be on topic. It doesn't make sense to have people just like piling in, here, and then, we're in week 3 and you got another guy coming in. It just doesn't work like that for us. And we feel like it delivers a worse experience. So we've really focused on trying to dial in and get, to help our students get the absolute best possible results. And it's just being able to concentrate and focus on helping them understand the material as they go along. It seems it's been invaluable in that process for us.
Yeah, and that's why I love promoting your program, man, because there's just been so many people who have had success stories with your program. I interviewed Ian the other day, and it's just it's amazing. You know, it's not easy. It's going to be hard work. You're going to have to focus. So if you are going to get into the course, make the commitment, make the decision, because it's going to take work. It's not easy. But just like Ian's story, you know, within 3 to 6 months, actually, I think it was in 3 months, he had paid off the course. 6 months, he was actually profitable. Now he's doing like 40. I think his best month was 45,000. And, you know, he gets to spend time with his family now. And, you know, he has virtual assistants. I think he's spending like 15, 20 hours a week at his business and doing 6 figures. So it's, you know, it's something that you guys can definitely do. It's hard work, but if you guys are looking to learn, you guys are looking to grow, I'm telling you guys right now, these are the guys. They've been around. They're not new to the game. And, you know, I'm putting my trust in them, and I know they do a great job. So with that being said, guys, thank you so much. Sorry for going over 7 minutes over the time. I apologize about that, but thank you guys.
No, it's always a pleasure to be on on here with you, Steve.
Go Pats.
No, we are not ending it like that, Eric. No. All right. I'm a Patriots fan too, but in the comments, guys, Patriots or Eagles, let us know. All right, guys, I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Have a good one.
See you, Steve.